Hello everyone, wherever you are from around the world. I'm here today to tell you something about AHRN and its initiatives to support young African defenders wherever they are across Africa continent. Well, its objectives are promoting and protecting the work of human rights defenders and their organizations. AHRN brings members of human rights community together by hosting events in a secure social setting to make them connect, share and reflect experiences to generate new strategies in order to end up human rights violations. I need to tell you that since 2017, AHRN has been operating 2 shelters for at-risk human rights defenders in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, and in Cotonou, Benin, with a special emphasis on at-risk women and young defenders. The AHRN Foundation providing them with the shelter rest as well as tools in order to keep them doing their work. AHRN believes that young human rights defenders are change makers left behind in most efforts supporting human rights. Young defenders need to be empowered, right, in order to work independently so as they can easily bring their contribution to promote human rights, democracy, and also sustainable development in Africa. And on the request of at-risk human rights defenders and activists, AHRN has established a new initiative to support young African defenders, the YADA. YADA initiative aims at connecting and supporting young defenders, including journalists, bloggers, artists, etc., as well as continuing engagement with young human rights defenders and also connect them with other human rights defenders and civil society organizations from around the continent. And to achieve this from the 1st to the 15th of June 2021, AHRN Foundation, hosted a workshop to launch YADA Network. The YADA First Workshop brought together 18 young defenders representing 11 countries to share experiences, best practices, and the network motivated youth from across Africa, of course. And after 2 weeks of fruitful exchanges on current and emerging challenges of the continent, the general situation of governance across countries, human rights violations and armed conflict, etc., it was decided to implement a Pan-African network called YADA. YADA, which means Young African Defenders in Action. This decision was materialized by holding a General Assembly at the end of the activities, and there was the election on, let's say, a coordination team in charge of the implementation of strategic and operational objectives. It was also decided to promote non-violence, to fight extremism in youth actions, inclusiveness, verification of information, transparency, and also integrity, justice and equity, solidarity and fraternity, and finally, voluntarism. YADA founding members decided to stand as a force and a voice also for young activists in Africa, and will take a stand wherever human rights violations and democracy issues and good governance are made. All right? And also, I need to mention that YADA also need to support human rights defenders, and also the AHRN Foundation will produce trainings and materials on human rights principles, drafting project proposals and short courses in digital security, including non-violence. AHRN will also continue to engage YADA communities at national levels across the continent with discussions on key days such as International Women's Day, African Child's Day, and many other things related to those issues. I also have to mention a very special day called African Child Day, and Human Rights Day. Together with partners, we will organize activities on human rights topics including civil and political rights, environmental rights, and also climate change, economic, social and cultural rights, women's rights, children's rights, and many other issues like sexual and reproductive rights, rights of people with disabilities, fight against violence, extremism, and also transitional justice, etc. These are different kinds of activities that will be held by AHRN Rights in collaboration with YADA, as said previously. Thank you very much.